Welcome to Woodstown In Focus for March 2022. I'm Emily Holliday along with Alyssa Calabrese and Caitlin Hassler.
Each month, Woodstown In Focus highlights what the students and staff at Woodstown High School are doing.
On today's episode, you'll meet a staff member who has a special job outside of teaching. You'll find out what it's like to prepare meals for students, learn about one of our record-breaking football stars, and hear from a piano-playing junior.
But first, if you're an athlete, you've probably relied on the trainer. So what does the school's athletic trainer do, and how does he impact the community? Here's Gigi Gardashian with the report.
Here at Woodstown High School, we pride ourselves on the staff and how well they present information. Students and staff often create a bond that extends beyond the classroom. There's someone that is not known to all, but has a great impact on our student athletes. The school's athletic trainer, Mr. Dan Evans, is a very friendly face that the athletes often go to. Athletes know they can rely on him for anything injury related. He is behind the scenes of every athletic event, ready for action if needed, but not many know all of his responsibilities here at Woodstown.
Prevention, so preventing injuries, looking for ways to keep the athletes safe on the athletic fields. Number two is recognition and evaluation of injuries. So once an injury occurs, figuring out what's going on with it and triaging it and what we need to do about it.
Trainer Dan's first exposure in athletic training started at Woodstown when he took a few courses and from there led to the career he loves.
I took the first anatomy and physiology course offered at Woodstown in 1986. And from there, kind of got interested in the medical side of things and helping people.
After Trainer Dan dove into athletic training, he went on to accomplish many things in his field. He was able to partake in once-in-a-lifetime experiences, including the 2008 Beijing Olympics.
Big things I've done is worked with the Olympic Committee. So I went through a 10-year tryout period to be selected for the Beijing Olympics in 2008.
In January of 2021, Trainer Dan was inducted into the New Jersey Scholastic Coaches Association Hall of Fame. His experience and dedication sets him apart from the rest and led him to be nominated for the award.
I was honored to receive that. I was the 5th Woodstown High School staff member since 1960-something to be inducted into that.
Out of school, Trainer Dan has his hands in a lot of different things. You can find him with his family, volunteering for Woodstown Fire Company, or at his local church. Whether it's during school or after, Trainer Dan is always a helping hand. We're thankful to have someone so reliable in our school and in our community. All the little things he does has a huge impact on our community.
There are so many talented students at Woodstown High School. One of our junior students has a huge passion for playing the piano. Here's Amberly Richmond with more on Andrew Valentine.
Here at Woodstown High School, there are a variety of talented students ranging from athletes to artists, but there is one student who musically stood out from the rest. Andrew Valentine is a junior at Woodstown High School who has a growing passion for playing piano. He has been playing the piano for the past 6 years and has been taking lessons for the last 2 years.
It happened kind of by accident. Me and my mom, we have like this cleaning job and they have a piano there. And I was cleaning it and I just started messing around with it, and every week we'd go to clean and I just go and mess around with it. I started just having a passion for it.
Andrew is always looking for ways to improve his skills and continue to be a better musician. He spends his time outside of school playing at restaurants and his church.
The moods I can make, whether it's for myself or for somebody else, and how they react to the music. It's almost joyful to hear people react to my playing.
You have to kind of put your whole self into it, and playing the piano comes to Andrew as easily as breathing. So
Andrew has a really natural ability to hear music and to interpret it. What he plays generally comes from inside of his soul. He's not tied to what's on the page, and a lot of it is a very natural instinct for what is correct.
While in school, Andrew accompanies the Woodstown High School choir and also plays in the jazz band. Andrew encourages his fellow classmates and his teachers to be the best that they can be.
Andrew is pretty much the heart and soul of the jazz band right now. He loves it, first of all. He would have practice every night of the week if I would allow it.
Andrew is a true inspiration to Woodstown High School. From being in the jazz band to being in the choir, he continues to grow and better himself every day. Andrew wants to continue to pursue his musical career and start competing professionally in the future. From Woodstown In Focus, I'm Amberly Richmond.
The football team had a 9-3 overall record this year, and they made it to the Group 1 finals. Sophomore James Hill was a big part of the team's success. Hannah Ashfield has more on the star running back.
Woodstown High School's football team finished the season with a 9-3 record and made it to the NJSIAA final round of the Group 1 South Jersey Championship. They would not have gotten there without the help of a sophomore superstar.
James Hill is a sophomore at Woodstown High School. James has been playing football for over 10 years. This year's season, he broke the previous record of 1,000 yards by rushing 1,300 yards as a sophomore.
Because I always had the accomplishment of getting 1,000 yards, and I was really excited to. Weight room a lot and agility to get to the 1,000-yard mark.
Of all of the teams that James Hill played for, Woodstown is his favorite. Coach Adams plays a major role in his success on and off the field.
This year he's, one of our key players. He's the number one guy in the backfield right now. He's had 2 back-to-back 100-yard games, which is pretty impressive for a sophomore.
He also credits his teammates for his impact at Woodstown.
I played with a lot of these guys for a lot of years, and it feels great to play with them, and especially to reach the 1,000-yard marker with them is an accomplishment.
Though James is very talented, he wouldn't have been able to make it to where he is without his biggest supporter motivating him to push him for more.
Miles is my biggest motivator. She's hard on me, but it's because it's love, and she gets me through it all.
Even though James is only a sophomore, he has a few colleges in mind, as well as a few colleges that have been reaching out to him for his football abilities and to play for them.
I have West Virginia, Rutgers, Temple, and Florida.
James Hill is a talented athlete that has lots of potential and a bright football career in front of him. Whether he decides to pursue his football career after high school, he will always be remembered as the sophomore superstar that rushed 1,000 yards in 2021.
When you buy lunch, do you ever think what it takes to prepare all of those meals on a daily basis? Jada Brown reports.
On a typical school day, hundreds of students across the Woodstown-Pilesgrove Regional School District are served breakfast and lunch. But what goes on behind the scenes to prepare all those meals? Food service staff start their days out early. Besides students getting in line and grabbing their meal, there are lots of tasks to complete throughout the day. More goes into preparing meals and creating the menus than most may think. Food service director, Ms. Dreama Lagrota, is in charge of making sure the kitchen runs smoothly.
I check on each building to make sure that everything's running smoothly and what we have for the day for lunch to make sure we have enough of it and that we prepare it in a timely fashion, but not.
You might think that teachers taking lunch count in the morning isn't a huge deal, but to our lunch staff, that number is important to them because that's how they know how much food to prepare. The lunch staff also prepares breakfast for the kids in the cafeteria that they can get in the morning.
The hardest part is getting the numbers right and how many students are buying the lunch that day. And I never want to run out, so I'm always trying to do extra, but sometimes it doesn't work.
The school's lunch is prepared and cooked in the morning before the lunch bells ring. By the time the students get in line for lunch, it's fresh and ready on the lunch trays for students to grab and pick out their sides. When students have finished their lunch, they have an option to go to the snack room and buy a snack.
No, we always cook that day because I want it fresh. I don't like to cook ahead of time.
Next time you're in line for your meal, make sure you show appreciation to your lunch staff. I'm Jada Brown, Woodstown In Focus.
Did you know that one of our math teachers also saves lives outside of school? And they bring that experience and knowledge to the classroom. Here's Bryn Letty with more.
Miss Haines is a teacher here at Woodstown High School who helps people not only in the classroom but also outside of school.
A lot of teachers are known for their ability to help students understand the subject they teach, but Miss Haines is one of a kind. She isn't only a teacher but a paramedic, and she informs students about the importance of safety as well as math in the classroom.
So I started my math bachelor's degree, and in the middle of that I kind of took a break, became a paramedic, and then while I was working as a medic I finished my bachelor's degree in math and my teaching certification.
She has been a teacher for 16 years and been a paramedic for even longer. Her students get to hear very interesting stories about her experiences on the job.
I have been here 16 years. Kids are always interested in all my stories, but different ones pop up from time to time. I'm sure I'll save that for the classroom. It's what the kids in my class get to experience here and there when I talk about them, right? It's the bonus of being my student, is you get to hear my interesting stories.
Ms. Haines takes pride in showing her students how to be safe and avoid dangers in the world that they might not be aware of.
I usually take the opportunity a couple times a year to talk to kids about smart ideas and like common mistakes that teenagers get themselves wrapped up into, teenage drinking, the use of drugs. Every once in a while, I try to have them understand what heroin does to people.
She has even inspired students to become EMTs from her classroom talks and experiences as a paramedic in the field.
I have suggested it to some kids to go be an EMT and try it. I know there are a couple of kids, there's at least one student, previous student of mine, who has actually gone on and become an EMT, and he told people it was because I talked about it in the classroom.
We have a lot of special teachers here at Woodstown, and Miss Haines is definitely one of them. With her outstanding ability to educate the kids about math and the dangers and safety in the real world. I'm Bryn Lady, reporting for Woodstown In Focus. Thanks for joining us on Woodstown In Focus.
We hope you enjoyed today's show.
For Caitlin, Alyssa, and the rest of our news team, I'm Emily. See you next time.